Shabbat Shalom. It's amazing that Hannah and I can share the same microphone. Let's face it, since COVID, we've spent a lot more time looking at ourselves than we ever did before. Sure, mirrors have existed for hundreds and hundreds of years, but we often just walked by a mirror and glanced at ourselves rather than the prolonged exposure of staring at our faces on Zoom screens. I can personally attest to how it's nearly impossible to be on a Zoom or Teams call and to not pay attention to how we look. Is the camera angle flattering? Is the lighting right? Do I really have that many wrinkles? Are my eyes that droopy? And all of this FaceTime has led to a bizarre and I believe unhealthy obsession with how we look. In her recent article in the New York Times Magazine entitled, "All this staring at our faces is messing with our heads," Catherine Shannon discusses the phenomenon of seeing our faces on a Zoom screen. There is something eerie, she writes, about being both the speaker and the watcher, performing one's own identity for oneself rather than simply living it. Social media has also contributed to our performative identity. We curate our food, our friends, our families, and our faces to appear exactly as we wish to be seen, regardless of the reality of our lives. But no matter how much we curate the image we wish to project, at the end of the day, we are still the same person inside. This week, as Rabbi Loibin said, we ushered in the new moon of Elul, the final month of the year, designated to prepare our souls for the new year. Elul also beckons us to look in the mirror, not to notice our physical imperfections or flaws, which we cannot avoid seeing daily, but rather our spiritual ones. During Elul, we're meant to look in the mirror and see the image of who we really are, not the airbrushed version of ourselves. At the same time, this week our Torah portion, Shoftim, speaks of judges and judgment, all of which lead up to Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment, also known as Rosh Hashanah. The time is at hand for our annual reckoning, a reality check to see how much distance there is between who we are and who we want to be. The Italian Holocaust survivor and author Primo Levi shares another angle on a mirror image in his story called The Mirror Maker. In the story, the mirror not only reflects how we see ourselves, but how others see us too. In the story, a man named Timoteo is a mirror maker, as his father and his grandfather were before him. During working hours, he made regular mirrors, those that produce the accurate reflection of anyone who looks in them. But by night, he made all different kinds of mirrors that distorted one's reflection. And the most extraordinary of these mirrors was called a metamirror, which produced an image that did not show us as we are objectively seen, but as was seen by the person looking at you. To test the mirror, Timoteo stood next to a wall. There, he saw an already balding 30-year-old man with a witty and dreamy air that was himself. Next, he brought the mirror to a woman he was pursuing. This time, when he looked in the mirror, in the presence of this woman, he saw a bald man with his lips hung half open in a foolish smirk that revealed his rotten teeth. Yikes. Timoteo continued to test this mirror, and every time he saw a completely different version of himself, depending upon how the person around him viewed him. The story ends, not surprisingly, with no one wanting to buy his special mirror, for seeing ourselves the way other people see us was just a little too cringy. To my way of thinking, the story can be seen as cautioning against seeing ourselves through another's eyes. But as we assess our spiritual selves, we need to flip perspectives and try to see ourselves not only through our own self-critical or self-exalting gaze, but also through the honest eyes of others, those with whom we are in true relationship, to see ourselves clearly. Are we the loving mother we think we are, or the judgy parent who's quick to criticize? Are we the devoted friend we wish to be, or someone who really only listens when it's convenient? Are we quick to forgive our spouses or colleagues, or do we nurse our hurt feelings and hold a grudge? Are we as generous as we'd like to think we are, or stingy with our time or resources? The High Holy Days come every year to ask us to hold a mirror up to our lives and prepare ourselves for this Yom Hadin, this day of judgment. The tool of the mirror might help us to see ourselves in three ways. The first is, of course, the way we are, with all our blemishes and foibles, all our regrets and character flaws. For it's only when we're able to see ourselves as we really are that we might imagine who we could be if we tried harder, made amends, did some plastic surgery on our souls through teshuvah, prayer, and renewal. The second way we should try to see ourselves is from the perspective of others. What might we learn about if we empathize with those around us and imagine ourselves from their perspective? Are we obstinate, selfish, self-absorbed, or condescending? As Timoteo learned, it is challenging to see ourselves through this lens, but necessary if we truly want to repair ourselves and our relationships. And I think the final way we can allow a mirror to instruct us is by seeing ourselves as we truly want to be seen. For in doing so, we create an inspiring vision of our best selves. In his poem, Love After Love, the poet Derek Walcott imagines this moment. The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome. May we do the work that's necessary for this time to come soon, and the image we greet in the mirror is the image we wish to see, not because of our unlined face or good lighting, but because it reflects our shining soul within. Amen. And good Elul to all of you.